And another story, as far as the police back then, they was money on. I mean, it was a few crews around there that know who was getting money, and they was spending most of their time trying to catch certain people to catch them with the money. I know a couple of times where they caught Al Fitch coming out of the restaurant with over 100,000.
And what happened?
And they took the money. And then they went to try to proposition him, you understand, where if you're going to continue to do something, you got to pay us so much. 5-0 was the only one. And Charles Rudolph, I would say Charles Rudolph, I ain't never known him to do that. But 5-0, they didn't have nothing coming. And then at certain shifts that we couldn't even come in the neighborhood that we didn't want to be harassed. But they caught me one night on Chrysler, I think it was Erskine, and they caught me one night, you understand, and told me, you understand, where's the big man? I said, I don't know who you talking about. They said, you know who we talking about. And they grabbed me, they grabbed me, man, they took the sewer, the top over the sewer, you understand, and they had me hanging down in there and told me, before they put me down there, they told me, if you don't have that fat motherfucker bring us $100,000, then he ain't gonna see your ass no more. I made a phone call, you understand? The money was there, you understand, within 15, 20 minutes. And then after that, you understand, they, you understand, want to try to make a deal as far as wanting to get money, which, you understand, we had to deal with. I was meeting them at the Eastern Market every Saturday, getting when they cut.
Well, but let's go over that again. They basically held you hostage, put you in a sewer, and demanded $100,000 ransom for your release.
That's right.
And he got the money down to him right away.
Yeah. And then after that, you understand, we started paying them every week because they know how much money, they thought they knew how much money was making, but they found out, you understand, I guess from somebody, which I know was somebody snitching, how much we really was getting. And then in particular, one day, when they found that out, they raided the joint, took the drugs, and called us, and we had to go and buy the drugs back.
From the police.
From the police. And this is true.
It was a story we was just talking about to show that, you know, a lot of y'all in the crew was ahead of your time. Talk about
Zack Garrett, 5-0's
Oh,
brothers.
Yeah. The Garrett brothers. All of them with some money getting motherfuckers. But like I say, they all grew up with the crew, like Eddie, Courtney, all of us growed up together. I was the youngest out of all of them. 5-0, you understand, bought some buildings down there in Brush Park like I did. Zack, you understand, he bought a lot of used Greyhound buses. And they was in good shape. And he would, you understand, make trips, you understand, for all the people in the Brewster projects. He would have took them on different trips and shit in the summertime. And then he had invested some money in the Bahama Airlines.
Wow.
And that was in the paper, you understand? I don't know what happened. It was some kind of scheme or something, but he had invested money in the Bahama Airlines.
And that's in the 70s.
That was in the 70s. That was in the 70s. And Junior Garrett, you understand, he had a recording company on 8 Mile. When he had, I think, the Dramatics and a few other groups. I'm not remember exactly what groups it was that, and the Temptations at a particular time, they was giving shows and stuff. Zack and Junior. Junior ended up, you understand, crossing one of his connects, and they tricked him down in Florida. He was him and his woman, and ain't nobody ever seen him since.
Wow. Wow. So yeah, I mean that was impressive. I mean, a lot of the crew. I mean, obviously Eddie had a big real estate portfolio, but a lot of the crew, a lot of y'all was buying real estate and had some legitimate businesses.
A lot of it, really did. Like people talking about who's big fella and all that. It's a lot of guys that was getting big money. Like I said, I'm talking about the kind of money you wouldn't even believe. But like I say, think back in the past. Think about the people that didn't move from Detroit. And like Frank Matthews, Nikki Bonds, I haven't mentioned his name, Ike Atkinson. They called him Sergeant Smack. He was the one, you understand, was really behind the big fella for Frank Lucas. You understand? He was the one that was smuggling it in from Vietnam, you understand, in the bodies. That's how, you understand, Frank Lucas was getting all his money. But me, myself, I think Frank Matthews was getting more money than all of them. That's my opinion. But Eddie, if he would have had them, he wasn't far behind because of what we was doing. Like I said, you multiply it for yourself.
Nikki Barnes, now that you brought it back up, you and Nikki did cross paths because what caused y'all to have to cross paths?
I think it was 74 when they had that boat strike.
Yeah.
Eddie, you understand, had sent me up there in New York to tell the family that, man, when this strike is over, man, I want to at least just get my drugs about at least 2 or 3 weeks ahead of everybody else. And they did it for Eddie because we was getting plenty of it. And so this is when we started distributing the dope other states. That's when me and Eddie started we came in contact with Nikki Barnes. But we was all on the East Coast, Indiana, Minnesota, all down south. And me and Peter Gunn was staying on the road, you understand, for weeks at a time. So I can't even say how much money that we was getting, you know?
And you mentioned you knew Marzette.
Yeah, I knew Marzette, you understand? I ain't never did no business, but I know him. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then his man was supposed to be Claxton again.
John Claxton.
Yeah.
They said it was, and I don't know for sure. But I know, you understand, at that time, John Claxton, you understand, he was the biggest thing around before he went to jail, you know.
And then disappeared.
Yeah, because he ended up getting a case after he got out of jail, you know, being hard-headed, you know. And Frank Matthews and John Claxton, the only 2 guys that ever no jump bond, and they ain't never been found since.
Wow. All right, thank you again. Ladies and gentlemen, Black Butch, the Black Dispatch. Famous in this town. Appreciate your time, Unc. I know we got a couple more episodes, a few more stories to go through. Appreciate you again. Make sure you guys hit the like, subscribe, and share button. And for the whole Big Boss family, have a great holiday. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. You'll be seeing more of us. You'll be seeing more Uncle Butch. Again, appreciate you, Unc. Peace out. Love, Big Boss. Holla at your man. What's happening, family? It's your man, Courtney Robert Brown Jr. here in Dakar, Senegal. Yes, Big Boss is still in West Africa. We're going to be here for a few more days, and we're having an awesome time here, family. So, you know, we're hooking up with the brothers here at the Made in Africa Project. Just had a real positive meeting with the brother who owns a nightclub over here called Dream. He's doing some thing in the film industry, got some studios.
Atlantic Ocean right there.
2021, look forward to some of Big Boss's first projects coming out of the motherland. So we are very excited about that. So anyway, you know, guys, with all that's been going on this year in 2020, we didn't really get a chance to do the 10-year anniversary that we wanted to do for this project, which is what started the whole thing, the whole reason why there's even a YouTube channel and why there was the award-winning documentary Motown Mafia, and all that came with that, and before all of this, the Kingpin's Kid Radio, and now Eddie Jr.'s channel. But this whole thing began 10 years ago. So this is the 10th anniversary of when this project began. It began with this book, Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid. And so I know a lot, I know a lot of you guys, family, you actually know of me or Eddie Jr. or my old man or Fat Man's Legend, and you know it through YouTube. Some of you may have seen the documentary, which by the way is available at BigBossFilmworks.com or on Amazon Prime, Tubi TV, or most of your streaming platforms. You can still get the award-winning documentary Motown Mafia book, man. It all began with this book. Shout out to Lou Stevens, my partner. You never see much of him because he's usually behind the camera, but he has been the backbone of Big Boss Filmworks since we started this thing. So shout out to you, Brother Lou. But so as I was saying though, if you don't know how, the fact that why me and Eddie have been friends for, you know, all of our lives, Eddie Jr., how his dad and my dad have been friends for all of their lives. The real story on how Eddie Jackson Sr., the fat man himself, how he started and built that $1 million empire. You know, we've attempted to unpack it, but if you really want the story, the in-detailed story, you know, give the book a shout. It's also available on Kindle. It's also a history lesson, you know, like in chapter 1, let's just say in the beginning, you know, you get the whole background in chapter 1 of where Detroit was at in the 50s and 60s, the real story with Black Bottom. A feel of what Detroit was like in 1971, where the Detroit Tigers were doing, what the Pistons were doing, what was going on with the race relations in the city. And then the fact that that was the year that would change the course of the Fat Man's organization and everything. That was the year where he met the Gambino crime family. That was also the year where they had the raid on Hubble, which is still, I believe, standing the largest raid in narcotics history in the city of Detroit. So a lot of history, you know, in this book. And I just wanted to give a shout out. Who else? Michelle Moore, the Essence award-winning author, Hood Books. Say You Promise Enterprises, Say You Promise Publishing. Shout out to Michelle. She brought this home. You go, family. I'm not an author, so I put together the manuscript. Michelle Moore brought this project home. Anita Flanagan, the editor, Lou's auntie, you know, again. So shout out 10-year anniversary to the book and all the people who played a part in this thing, and it's just really cool, man. And now, you know, if you told us 10 years ago, I might have said, yeah, I'll be in West Africa, but if you said 10 years ago, Courtney, you're gonna have a book road, and then the follow-up book, which we'll talk about a little bit later, you know, not the follow-up to this, here's the follow-up, Motown Mafia, Big Man on Campus. But then, you know, we did come out with another book called Get Your Mind Right, Get Your Money Right, Getting Off Zero. And just where the idea started, man. People have been telling me my whole life that I had lived an interesting life and stuff I had seen. You know, working for my father, just growing up next to Eddie Jackson, seeing their whole rise, fall, and rise again. And now to be over here in Africa expanding, you know, this Filmwork thing and this content creation to the motherland, hooking up with some brothers. It's just a blessing, man. So we look forward, want to say thank you. Again, though, if you don't know, not got the full in-depth story, 10-year anniversary, Motown Mafia, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid. Check it out. You can get it from our website, BigBossFilmworks.com. You can definitely get it from Amazon. And if you have not seen the award-winning documentary that followed up on that, you can definitely check that out on Amazon Prime. So, and Tubi TV, again, all the other ones. And the brothers here are taking good care of us in Senegal. So, good look, good shout out. Oh yeah, and with the 10-year anniversary, shout out to my man Al Prophet, what he's doing with American Dope out there. You know, Al has been very integral and just been a great assistance. We caught up with Al right when the book was coming out, and he's gone on to do some really big things. And yeah, shout out to Al Prophet, shout out to Cavario, shout out to what they're doing over at American Dope. It's all good. So I ain't gonna hold you guys up, but again, Big Boss Filmworks live, Dakar, Senegal, West Africa, 10-year anniversary book, Kingpin's Kid, Memoirs of a Kingpin's Kid, Motown Mafia. Thank you all. Appreciate the support. Love you guys. Holla at you, man. Peace.